Concept getters, how are you? I hope everything is going well and that you're going to enjoy this video, and then you're going to understand the concept that is going to be broken down in this specific one, and you enjoyed the previous ones, right? As we continue with trigonometry, today we're going to prove the sine rule, right? So the first thing that you should consider when proving the sine rule is to draw this diagram, right? These two diagrams, these two are identical, right? And you have to draw three, but we just need two. So you're going to draw this first one here. You're going to label the vertices A, B, C, and then the sides that subtend the vertices will take the letters of those vertices, right? And then the second diagram is exactly the same one as the first one, as you can see here. The only difference is that when I drew the perpendicular line to this base, here it went to A, but then on the second one, it went to B. And if you were to draw the third one, it was going to go to C, right? So let's see, with the first one, what are we going to do? We're going to use trigonometry. After drawing this line here to be perpendicular to this, and you have a 90 degree, you're going to use one triangle to find your X something, and then you're going to use another part of the triangle to find your X, and you do that with this diagram as well. So let's actually apply so that you understand what's really happening here, all right? So let's see, I'm going to say in this triangle here, in this part, right? Not the whole triangle, but just this part of the right angle triangle. I will consider this angle here. I will say if I have this angle and I use sine, I will say sine C is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, right? So when I write it, I'm going to say sine C is equals to, my opposite is what? Is X, over my hypotenuse is B. Then I will make my X the subject of the formula. So I will say I will have to multiply both sides by B so that it can be eliminated. And also this side I multiply by B. Therefore I will have what? X is equal to B sine C, right? Then when I get there, I'm going to go to the second part again on this side here. I will say sine B is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to say, when I have my B here, I'm going to say sine B is equals to what? My opposite is what? Is X, over hypotenuse is C, right? And then you say I'm going to multiply by C to eliminate it. And then I will multiply by C this side so that I can make my X the subject of the formula. So now my X will be what? My X will be C and the sine of B. So remember now, guys, since well we have X is equals to something here and we have X is equals to something here, this means that these two, this part and this part, are equal because they are both equal to X. So I will just equate them. I'll say, therefore, right? I'll just say, therefore, B sine C is equals to C sine B. Do we agree? Now I want to have fractions on either side, and I want my sides, you see this small letter B and C, I want them to be my numerators. So I will divide both sides by sine C and sine B. Makes sense? So I'll say divide by sine B times sine C. And what I do on the left-hand side, you also do on the right. So I will divide by sine B, and you multiplied by sine C. You know why? So that sine C can cancel sine C on this side. You'll be left with B over sine B. And on this side, sine B will cancel sine B. You'll be left with C over sine C. So you'll say, therefore, I'm left with B over sine, capital letter B, is equals to C over sine, capital letter C. Guys, you can see this already, right? And then you go to this diagram, you do the same thing, right, that we just did here. So let's see now. It's going to be what? I can draw this and be like, and say, remember, we use this part only, right? And then when you are done, you go to this part, and then you do the same thing, you simplify and what's so not. So let's go. So I'm going to say in this triangle, when I use this vertex here, I'll say sine angle A is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. My C is my hypotenuse because it's opposite to 90, right? So I'll just say, when I have the dot here, I'll say sine A is equals to what? My X, which is my opposite, over hypotenuse, which is C. And then remember, you multiply both sides by c, multiplied by c, right? And then you'll have what? You'll have x is equal to c and sine a, right? And then you go to the other side as well. This side here, you're going to say this one here is your angle, your vertex that you're going to deal with. So you're going to say, if I'm on this side, I'm going to say this one. I'll say sine C is equal to what? It's equals to opposite, right, over hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is A because here we have a 90 degree, right? So I'll just say my opposite is X and my hypotenuse is A, right? Then I'll just multiply it by A on both sides, multiplied by A on both sides. Come on, guys, this is easy, right? And then now that I eliminated A on the other side of the equal sign, I'm gonna be left with X. So my X will be the subject of the formula. I'll write it. I'll say X is equal to A sine C, right? Now remember again, because this and this are both equal to X, it means they are both equal to each other as well. So I can just equate them. So I'll just say therefore, what? A sine C is equal to C sine A. But I want my A and C, the small letter A and C, which are my sides, I want them to be numerators, which means I'll divide both sides of the equal sign by the product of sine C and sine A, right? So I'll just say divide by sine A times sine C. Even on this side, remember what you do on the left-hand side, you must also do on the right-hand side. Even in the Bible, they said it. When someone offers to slap you on your right, you also offer them the left cheek, right? That's math. Math and Bible go hand in hand, guys. So let's go. So I'm going to say sine A dot sine C, right? And then these will cancel. Remember I said sine C will cancel sine C. You'll be left with A over sine A equals to, again here, sine A will cancel sine A. You'll be left with C over sine C, right? So this is your C. So now we can conclude and be like, oh, our last step is the fact that we have B over sine B is equals to sine C over sine C. Again, A over sine A equals to C over sine C. You see sine C and C are common, and they are both equal to B and A, which means B over sine B, and A over sine A and C over sine C are all equal. So we don't really need the third triangle, basically. We can conclude using the two triangles. So you can just be like, oh, which means I can conclude and say A over sine A is equal to B over sine B, right? These are your angles. Is equals to C over sine C. And this is what we call the sine rule. It says when you have a triangle like this and you have A, B, C, there's the vertex that is subtended by this side will make this side small letter of that vertex. So I'm going to have a B here. This A is subtended by this side, which means that side will be the small letter A and the remaining one will be small letter C. And then when you have this, you can apply it to solve for one of them. Remember, I did the videos of how to apply this, right? So I'll actually put it in the description. Otherwise, guys, this is how you prove it. So this, what I just drew here, is not relevant to your proof. When they want you to present this in the exam, you just write everything I wrote up until to the last part. And that's it, guys. So this is how you prove the sine rule. You only need those diagrams, the way I drew them, and then you write what I wrote based on how I explained. I hope you got the concept. Otherwise, the most important part of this so that we can help others also understand is to do this. Remember, guys, you do what? You subscribe and you share with others. Remember, we must increase the family or the volume of concept getters out there so that everybody in South Africa, in Africa, in the whole world, in our galaxy, in our universe, man, everywhere, so that everybody can get the concept and math can be an easy subject for everyone. Remember, I believe that math can be a lot too much easy for everyone. Come on, guys. And then you like. After liking, you comment. You tell me what else you would like me to do. And come on.